Wilson Morales from Black Film and TV. Hello, Marley. How's it going?
Good, 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 good. Thank you for asking. Hanging out there, hanging in, doing the best we can.
I've seen, throughout the years, obviously, you've been the person that everybody thinks about when they think of these type of stories. And I saw earlier last year, when you helped produce Feeling Through. And so, my assumption is that, people come to you a lot of times to hopefully jumpstart their films. What was the catalyst that made you say, okay, I want to get on board on this?
Well, it was basically the script. The first thing I read, I felt very excited. I mean, typically I want to feel connected to a script or a story and to get one that gets my attention. And this one certainly did that. I mean, I loved it. I needed to do it. And so I called my team and I said, please, please get me this role. Don't even give it to anyone else. Make sure no one takes it away from me. I know because there's so many wonderful, talented deaf actors out there who could have easily played the role of Jackie Rossi in the film. But I met with Shawn, and to my relief, she told me that she wanted me in the film. And so the rest is history.
you know, uh, People say that you were like the person that when you're on set, and because you had I guess non-deaf people be part of the crew, they would set things and they would set like the table setting in the wrong position, and you would say no, no, that doesn't work like that. How important was it for you to be on that set to let them know how to do it right, so that way it feels authentic for you and the rest of the cast to play your roles?
It's funny because I'm very, very thankful that the crew approached the whole filmmaking process with an open mind, being that it was about our culture, being the fact that we lived it as deaf people all our lives, knowing exactly what it would be like, what it works, what doesn't work, what doesn't make sense. So the first thing we did when we came into the Rossi household, we walked in and we, saw the set and we went, wait a minute, is this what it's going to be? Is this the scene? We're going to shoot it this way? No, no. I said, you can't do that. Time out. Before we even rehearse, we need to change the entire furniture setup in the living room because we wouldn't even let the rehearsal start because it wasn't deaf friendly as we know as deaf actors to rehearse and work in something that didn't even make sense. We explained to them and we gave them a little bit of education, like to the set decorator that really who was very, very sweet and understanding, said, look, they said, oh really, we need to change it around. Oh, okay, we didn't realize that we have to change the furniture around. You don't have our back to the door as deaf people. You don't watch TV when it's against the window. We know that kind of stuff because we live that kind of stuff. So we wanted them to be 110% authentic in the film's portrayal as it is in real life.
I get the feeling that whenever you get on a set, and you're hired as an actress, you end up serving these unofficial roles because you have to, teach everybody, either from the director or the writer or the crew, a little bit about your culture in order to get it right. Is that a true assessment in a way?
It is somewhat. It is somewhat. Um, I think probably in the past it was a lot more than I had to do in this film. This film, they were very well prepared. They were, first of all, they had three actors who were deaf, authentically playing deaf roles, and they did their homework, and we just wanted to help them do it right. And the crew and the director and the lighting, everybody. I mean, we had sign language coaches, American Sign Language coaches. Everybody was clued in 100%. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been true to who we are. It wouldn't have been authentic.
Hmm.
So that's why I was really excited to be part of this project.
Obviously, everybody knows your story. You won the Oscar. It's been a minute, as in we call years. Do people go up to you in terms of, deaf actors?
It was
Like,
just 7 years ago. Just 7 years ago.
yeah, if we're going leap years,
look
yes.
at look at me. Look at me. Here I am
you
with the
know,
facelift.
but
Um,
in terms of like, this movie will introduce new audiences, to the deaf community as well as actors, and obviously there's more than just you, and hopefully we'll get to see more of the rest of the cast in other projects. Having said that, do people come to you in terms of like what they need to do in order to get producers to look at them, or for writers to write more stories that include deaf actors?
I mean, I hope people knowing me in the general public, knowing, okay, there's Marlee Matlin again, there's Marlee Matlin again. She's been around for a long time. And it's not my fault. It's not my fault. I mean, I'm just like any other actor who's looking for work every day, who hustles every day, who even to this day has to look for work to make sure that things go rightly. But at the same time, I'm more than happy to advocate for the need for more deaf actors to be hired, for more deaf writers, directors, who, and the disabled community as well, not only in front of the camera, but behind the camera, as well as on stage. I mean, I'm there supporting them, all of us together, working together. It's just a matter of those who have the clout to make things happen, taking the opportunity to listen to us. I think, though, with what we see on film and television these days, with more and more greater awareness about who we are as members of our culture. There's a new generation picking up the, getting clued in through social media, through word of mouth. I think that I'm just excited that there are gonna be more opportunities for all of us, not just me.
Hmm.
But I'm not stopping here. I'm gonna continue to keep working.
Now, your character, how much of the fishing do you know in real life? Have you fished before? Or is this something new, or is it you're just playing the role?
I think I still am thankful to Shawn Heder 2 years later that she didn't write Jackie in any of the fishing boat scenes. Okay. I slept while everybody else was working at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 and 3 in the morning. I have no desire to be that on that boat, but my respect for the fishing community has increased tenfold. I mean, watching them on the set, seeing how hard they worked, I'm glad that I just get my fish to eat and I don't have to actually go out and fish for it.
What did you get from working with Shawn? Obviously, throughout these years, you've worked with different people, but actors could never stop learning. So, what did you get from working with Shawn that was somewhat new that you can take on to your next project?
You know what? I had Randa Haynes as my first director. She directed Children of Lesser God, and I never forgot her. And the same way that I took away from her and learned how, as an actor, to grow on a set. Um, Children of Lesser God was my first film. It was everything. I learned so much there. I was just 19 years old. With Shawn, I was older, but at the same time, she showed me a different perspective that I could also learn from. That we could appreciate our culture, we could tell our stories, we could work with deaf actors, and she just validated that again. And it was she really delved into our world, into our culture. She learned to sign, and for me, that really taught me. I learned that it's okay to trust somebody who's outside of our community if they respect our community, which she did.
Mhm. You've done a lot of projects, but this film has taken off. You're talking to the media, and it's been a while since the whole cast as well as yourself can talk to the media about projects. How happy is it that you never know what film is going to take off or not, but this film is going to take off. That you can talk about not only acting in it, but the culture and everything else. That people will get something out of watching this movie.
I'm celebrating the acknowledgement of our culture, and I'm celebrating the fact that this is happening. It's been a long time coming. A lot of times we were in just the background, or we weren't even considered to carry films. There were so many stories to tell that we weren't able to share in. And so I'm celebrating this moment, and I trust that it'll be a moment and many more to come.
Hmm.
Wilson, that's all the time we have. Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate it. Take care.